have a very special guest on the bench today, my very own Oscar synth. The backup battery started to fail on it, so I thought we'll change that before it starts leaking everywhere. And I thought whilst we got it open, we might as well just recap her. I've done so many videos now where caps have been going faulty on these old equipment, so I might as well try and keep one step ahead. Now, this is one of the harder synths to kind of get apart and work on. These two sides here are held in by, I think there's 3 square metal braces. And if I remember rightly, I think it's a good idea to loosen off a side, and then we can take this front panel off. So, and the other important thing is that we make sure we collect everything and don't lose any bits. I've got a couple of button tops missing here. Not sure when that happened, years ago. Believe it or not, I did actually used to gig with this around London. Not something I could do now. Anyway, so I'm going to loosen the sides, take the pots off, and then just lift the front cover up. So as we can see, we have the control panel here, and the main micro and synth sitting here. The backup battery is on this panel, and as soon as we disconnect this panel, it will lose all its settings. I do have a system exclusive bulk dump that I can shove back in there, and yeah, I don't know if you can see on the battery here. Yeah, you can see it's already starting to leak. So we caught that just in time. And on this side of the synth we have where the power comes in. There's a bridge rectifier and some smoothing caps. So I want to replace them. There's a couple of electrolytics on the microboard we'll do as well. And one thing I remember from when I was in here before, I was very unhappy with the way that these LED legs were had no insulation, so as you try and put the top on, it's very easy to move them and maybe short out. So at some point I've put tape around one of the legs just to make sure nothing shorts out. Okay, I'm going to have to take this side panel off so that we can detach the main micro from the front panel. Now, as soon as I take this side panel off, there's no supports to hold it together, so I have to be very careful. And there we go. There's just big screws here. And I've got this earth bracelet here. I really don't want to risk screwing up any micro.
And last but not least, an anti-static bracelet, which is to protect you, and the parts.
I guess there's a lot of CMOS in there, so definitely going to strap yourself to earth. So this is the main board. This is the MIDI upgrade. What they've done is they've brought the chip up onto this board, the main micro, and added some extra functionality. I don't see many bypass caps on there. Maybe they got that out in a hurry. And pretty much all of this is digital with the analog section down here. Amazing design. Anyway, we're going to put that down safely and then we'll come back to that. In fact, it can stay there. And we have 2 connectors here. I really don't like these. I'll show you the other end in a minute. And then here we have the front panel. The reason I'm not keen on these ribbon cables is that they've soldered them directly to the output of the mains transformer, and if you wiggle them around you can easily imagine them breaking off. So this is one place you have to be really careful. I'll put a link below to this battery here which I got from RS Components. Fits in perfectly. Sorry, I took that first cap out and I wasn't recording. Before I did all this I did give it a clean with some isopropyl alcohol. I used some Craig's Deoxit on the pots, gave them a twiggle and then cleaned everything off again just to remove years of grime, and I'm sure people with synths these days in clubs don't get them so grimy. Okay, so the backup battery's in. I've taken one cap out already. It's 100 microfarad, 16 volt. And here we have 2000 microfarad, 2200 microfarad, 16 volt. So they're a little bit smaller than the original, but and this one here is a 1000 microfarad. Okay, so 2200. Negative is that side. Okay, beautiful. Positive, positive, positive. Okay, that's the front panel done. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just a little bit concerned about this cap. There's no positive mark. I'll have to check the video back now. I'm going to do that. So I've just noticed that my Chinograph pencil seems to be the same diameter as these button caps that I'm missing. Let's have a measure. So the real one is 8.72 millimeters, and my Chinograph pencil 8.74. I think I might be able to fashion a couple up out of this. Let's measure the height. 10.3. 10.4. I could just mark it. So I'm going to go and eat some food, and before I eat the food I'm going to cut these down and spray them with some black paint. Okay, this is always a sketchy time when you try and reboot this thing. Whenever you disconnect the battery, things go a bit haywire for a bit. The octaves don't work, and if the octaves aren't working correctly, then that's really showing us that the micro's not really working correctly, and it won't even accept a MIDI bulk dump when it's in this state. And I'm not quite sure what goes on, but after a little while, now the octaves are working correctly, so she seems like she's locked up. And then maybe it's something to do with the voltage read off the battery, I'm not so sure. Anyway, so now that's back, I'm going to send MIDI system exclusive bulk dump into the unit. That's good. Looks like it's receiving it okay. Okay, that's done it. Let's see if I can get some sound. And if we actually choose a voice. Great, that's working. So a couple of things have just happened off camera. I realised I missed a 470 microfarad capacitor, an axial version, underneath this board, which I've replaced now, and it did mean taking the whole side off and blah blah blah. Anyway, I didn't want to bore you with that. And can you guess which one is my remade button caps? It's these two here. So hopefully the front panel will go on okay. So let's do that. Okay, I think we have to hook this from this lip here, has to go underneath this metal bar, and then we have to prise these open to get over this section, making sure that we hold the MIDI bit in, which then clamps down on top of that. Have to bear in mind these LEDs. Okay, now we start to knock over these again. Look, one got over there. Great, I'm just going to clean the caps. And if anyone's interested, I'm just using a watered down standard car cleaner. So they all went on great. I did have to just tweak a couple. You just flip the top off and make it look nice. I am missing one, and I only have a red cap available at the moment, so the frequency legend is rubbing off on there anyway, so I thought I'd put it on the frequency cutoff. So I hope you enjoyed this Oscar service, and I'll catch you next time.